Hello, family. So it's been a pleasant summer here in the US, South Carolina. And as you already know, the series, News from the Other Side, is just an interview with teachers who have experienced the cultural exchange program here in the US. So they tell us uh, their cultural shock that they had in their classroom at the first time of entering the US classroom. So I have a guest who is very knowledgeable in this program. He's been here for 4 to 5 years, so obviously he has a lot of experience regarding this program. So upon all his busy schedule, he was able to, squeeze a little time for me to interview him today. All right. So my guest also has a YouTube, which I would entreat everybody that's following me to also follow him on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. He's on Facebook as well with the same name. So at the end of the interview, he's going to mention out his YouTube handle so that you can also follow him. So I'll leave everything to him. He introduced himself, and we have a series of questions that I'll be looking at. If you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. That we go accordingly to. So I'll leave the ball to Mr. O to introduce himself, and we will start from question number one. Then we proceed further to the completion of the interview. All right, Mr. O, you are welcome to the Yao Abre YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, boss. It's a privilege to be here with you today and to share my experience with others and the whole world. My name is Mr. Oting, but I go
Okay.
by the name Mr. O. And my Facebook and my YouTube is MrO.com.
Okay.
Yes. And I've been a mathematics teacher in the US for the past 5 years. So in fact, July 29th will be my fifth year on calendar, but I've done 5 years. Yes.
All right. So you heard my guest say that he's been here for almost 5 years, and 5 years in the US is not a joke, guys. Even 1 year is not a joke. I've
Yeah.
had people who had returned back to their home country. In the first 2 months, people
Mm.
run back to your home country. So as the interview goes on, I'll share some of these stories with you so that you can also strengthen yourself. Just strap yourself so tight because this is not a joke, so that you
Mm.
can learn a lot. And as I said, this series is strategically meant for African teachers. I know I have other colleague YouTubers who go globally. They target Filipinos, they target Jamaicans, and all that. But my channels is centered only on Africa. So if you are in Congo, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria, this channel is the best channel that you should follow. So if you just met me, make sure you follow my YouTube channel and also like our content so that YouTube can always suggest it to you and you'll be a blessing to this channel. Okay, so we start from the first question. It says, please tell us about yourself, what you did in Ghana, and before you even decided to come on this program, what was your life before that?
Thank you so much, boss. Thank you, Mr. Yao. And once again, I go by the name Oting, Mr. Oting.
Mhm.
And I've been a math teacher in Ghana since 2010. I completed the University of Education in Winneba.
Mhm.
And that very year, I got an appointment to teach at the secondary school level as a teacher. In fact, I didn't go to the training college. I went straight from the secondary school to Winneba. That is the University of Education. So I've been teaching. I taught secondary school math from 2010 all the way to 2019 when a friend told me about this opportunity for teachers to come and teach in the United States. And I didn't hesitate at all. In fact, I hesitated a little bit because I wanted to know the details. I wanted to be sure. I am one
Mhm.
person who doesn't want to travel for the sake of traveling because
Yeah.
of all the bad stories we've heard about people traveling to the Gulf countries and all those things. So I was a little careful. But I had opportunity to go to South Africa with some friends. I never went with them because I was a little concerned that, hey, what is the job status? Do I have a job waiting for me? How am I going to survive? How is, I was trying to answer all the questions. So when he told me about this, I told him, look, you go and be the John the Baptist. Pave the way. Go and check. If the place is good, you tell us. So 2018, he left to the US, and 2019, I followed up. As soon as he landed, he said, look, the place is good, come. And I followed up, and I've been in the US since 2019 up to today.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So before we even proceed, can you just give a shout out to your previous senior high school where you taught? Let them know that you are in the house. Just give them a shout out. If you have any name that you want to mention, just mention the person's name. He might be watching.
Well, I was teaching in Mambon Presec. In fact,
Okay.
all my teaching, like I did my 1 year out of school program with PWTC. No, PTC. It's PTC actually.
Okay.
That's the training college in Akropong.
Okay.
And I taught 1 year there, math, and I had a lot of students. And then I was teaching also in Mampong Presec in Ekwapim Mampong.
Okay.
So I want to say hi to all the teachers, Mr. Divine, Mr. Kosoku, that was my HOD, and Herbert. I mean, a whole lot of teachers and the principals, everybody. I mean, I had a lot of friends there, but I can't mention everyone's name.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right. So did you have any other side hustle when you were teaching back in Ghana?
Yes, I was a man of many things. I wasn't a normal teacher. I always
No
call
matter teacher.
I wasn't the normal teacher, a normal Ghanaian teacher that everyone knows. The
Mhm.
normal Ghanaian teacher will be the one to go and do the national census, will be working in the villages, working for EC, going to do marking, and after the marking, they'll have to wait for another 8 months for that little money to be paid.
Wow.
Uh, the normal Ghanaian teacher will come to school and just go home. Will have normal Ghanaian teacher will be the one to be doing the paperwork, filling all
Mhm.
these paperwork, doing percentages and calculating all No, I wasn't that one. I was the kind that was different. I had a lot of side hustle. I was printing. I was into printing of books. I was
Wow.
into car sales. I was into, I mean, name it. Anything that has to do with sales, anything that has to bring in money, I'm in for it. Yes.
The reason why I asked was in my story, I was also just like you. I had a lot of side hustles. I was a co-founder to a shoe brand named iFok, IFOK. It
Wow.
was. It is still very popular in Accra right now. And I also
Wow.
had my menswear clothing brand, Yao Upgrade. That's what the name
Mhm.
is. And
Yeah.
I sometimes bought some cars from Japan and sold to
Okay.
some people. I had a lot of side hustle. The reason why I'm saying this is because looking at teachers with side hustle, it is very difficult for them to decide to come on this journey. I don't know if
Exactly.
it happened to you, because it was really tough for me. I had invested so much money in setting up an art school where we'll be
Oh,
teaching fashion design, painting, sculpture, and other. I have invested a lot of money into it, so it was
wow.
very difficult for me to decide on coming on this trip. How was yours?
Well, mine was easy because I was doing all my dealings with the United States. In fact, all the cars I was buying was coming from the US. I was into communal sales, it was coming from the US,
Okay.
and almost everything. And the printing of books was actually centered in Accra.
Okay.
So I had no problem detaching myself. And one thing I can in life, I've learned not to attach myself to so many things. So even if I have a car, I'm not attached to it because I can let go today. So if you walk to me and say you want to buy my car, I say bring money, I'm gone. I'll go and get the next one. So that was what helped me. I wasn't so attached to the things I was doing. And I always look into the future of things. I look at things from 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So I look at the printing business. I'm like, you know what? Government is bringing free education. Government says it's going to supply books to all the schools. What is going to become of all these printing gigs? I'm like, you know what? There's no future for it. I
Yeah.
look at other things that I was doing. I'm like, if I am here for the cars that I was buying to sell, if I am
Mhm.
here, it is easier because this is the source, this is the hub
Yeah.
of the thinkers. So why wouldn't you go to the hub itself? The communion I was selling, it was coming from the US. So getting closer to those things was the motivation more than me holding back. So for me, it was the opposite actually.
Okay. So one
Yeah.
other thing that I considered, when you're
Mhm.
doing business in Ghana, it's so hard to pinpoint on a saved up capital.
Yeah.
So for me, everybody know Yao is very busy. He's doing that.
Okay.
He's doing this. I was also in the printing business, so it got to a time in Kumasi, the printing hub is in Asafo. So when you
Okay.
go there and the printing houses are complaining that people have started going to China to print their books and all that, that was very affordable as compared to if you do it in Ghana. So
Mm-hmm.
the business was collapsing.
Yeah.
So as you said, it had no future. So
Mm-hmm.
back to what I was saying, I looked in my bank account, and you have a lot of businesses, but you have no money to show for.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another incentive for me, or
Oh,
a motivation for me to japa, to move from Ghana to the US. So as
oh.
we go on, I'll share other instances where that motivated me to also come on the program. Okay, so how you said you heard about the program from a friend, and you joined him a year later, right? So I'll just skip that part. Could you tell us your program sponsor?
I came with the EPI, Educational
EP.
Partners. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I know your story. What happened along the way? You were stationed at Florida, right?
Yes. So initially, when I came to Florida. I school in Orlando, Florida, and I taught there for 1 year. When the COVID
Okay.
hit in 2020, and their budget was cut. The schools here they allocated budgets every school year, so their budget was cut, and the principal had to let go of a lot of teachers, and I was part of it. Apparently, in fact, I one was a new teacher. I was struggling to fit in, so it was a
Mm-hmm.
natural thing for them. But there were other permanent teachers too that had to go. So I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel it was a prejudice, or I didn't feel it was I was singled out or anything. I just said, okay, it's an opportunity for me to go and experience other places. So quickly, I got a deployment in North Carolina, and I moved my family and myself here.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I'll pause here and put in my charger. I forgot. Let me quickly. Mm. Okay. So you tell us that for EPI, what are some of the? I know EPI application process is quite tedious as compared to TPG, as compared to, I think IAG is also quite easier. What
Yeah.
was the procedure? What were the requirements, the financial obligations? What are some of the things that you need in order to apply to EPI, your program sponsors?
All right. So, as you know already, this is a sanctioned program by the State Department of America. Um, the schools in America need teachers, so they created this program to allow teachers from other countries to come and teach here. So one of the agencies, and they've assigned it to companies. Let's
BridgeUSA.
call them agencies, and one of them is the EPI. EPI has a different application process. For them, you have to upload everything to their website, all your documents and everything. Then you'll be interviewed. They have two set of interviews. You do the initial interview, then you do the second interview, which is called a professional interview, which most people in Ghana know as the promotional interview. It
Okay.
is a comprehensive one, about 30 to 40 minutes. They ask you about classroom management and everything. The initial one was just like 15 minutes to get to know you, who you are, whether you are the same person who did the application and everything. So that was done. So two major interviews. When it comes to documentation, they take everything from your certificates to your transcripts, and you have to do what we call transcript evaluation. You have to evaluate your transcript as well. And I believe anyone on your platform should by now know what transcript
Know
evaluation
what
is.
it is. Yeah.
know the documents they need. So every document that you can provide them to prove that you are worthy of being, assigned a school in the US. Then you once they are satisfied with everything, then they go ahead or they proceed to get you a school for which you can interview with. Yeah. So that was what happened.
Okay. All right. So before I proceed, so this is how I also heard about the program, and I applied to EPI. So
Okay.
I'll start from how I got heard about the program. So uh, I'm a man who is very religious. So it got to a time that my wife's headmaster, who also part-time as a man of God,
Mhm.
had a revelation about me that my wife and I will be relocating to the US. And in fact, I really don't like to travel. I know people are about, oh, US is like heaven and all that. I'm a businessman. I didn't see the need for me to travel.
Yeah.
So it got to a time, things were quite rough, but still traveling wasn't an option. And my wife came home and told me that, oh, my headmaster said, you'll be relocating to the US. It was funny to me. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
religious, but I sometimes, have to weigh some prophecies and because personally I don't like it. So how can my interest be switched all of a sudden and remove? So I give it a shot. I started watching YouTube videos. I'm a person who don't want people to do things for me. I'm a DIY guy. I want to do everything myself.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube. I found this I found this Kenyan YouTuber, and she just mentioned you can go to the US and teach on J1 visa.
Mm-hmm.
And previously, I've had people suggest that, oh, they have some connection in Canada that if you go, you work and pay. I said, how can someone move you to Canada so that you work and pay him later on? So I didn't like that idea, so I decided to research on my own. So from the YouTube videos, this YouTuber, Dr. Britain, I don't know if you heard about her.
Yeah.
She's a
Jamaican.
Jamaican, and I was watching her video, so I was just soaking up knowledge, soaking up a lot of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied to EPI.
Yeah.
EPI was just urging me on, bring this, bring that, bring this. So I did my best to, fulfill all the requirements.
Yeah.
And they told me to bring my bank statement. And that was the problem. A
Wow.
businessman who's a teacher had nothing in his account, only my salary account. And at that time, I think it had 135 cities in it. And I
Wow.
said, I'll leave it to God. If the prophecy is true, I'm going to submit this bank statement with this. 135 is like, is it like $20? $20. So
Mm-hmm.
I forwarded the bank statement to EPI, and EPI, I think at that time I was driving and I had reached Oferukrum in Kumasi, and I had a mail. I quickly, straight from my phone, we are sorry, we have to put you on hold. I said, what? And at the moment, I was sitting in air-conditioned car. I was just sweating. I said, like, is this how it feels like people who invest so much in their immigration process and they are bound?
Yeah.
I had not paid anything in the process, but the disappointment alone was heartbreaking. I was
Exactly.
sweating the car. So I got home. I told my wife, and she consoled me. She knew that I was very, very down pressed, and she consoled me. So I said, fine. I've learned so much about this program. I have watched a lot of YouTube. I've researched a lot, so I don't have to let this knowledge go to waste. So I decided to set up a YouTube channel, and I shared that process. It was then that I found your video. So I was still watching your videos and all that.
Oh wow.
And I set up this YouTube channel. If you remember, I sent you a text that when I'm able to come to the US, I'll interview you in Tree. And it's okay, good, not bad. So I set up the YouTube channel. The first videos was in Tree, and the kind of aggressiveness I was putting in there. And the next day I went to school, and my teachers said to me, hey, will be our own collaborator, but or person don't go for collaboration. So they were calling me a connection man. And I had first-hand information of people who have moved to the US easily.
Yeah.
So whatever I was saying, they were just laughing at me and all that. So I think my first video, my second video, and the third video, I was there. That I didn't know I had applied to another agency, which I'll talk about when we move further to the other question. And they sent me a message that I have an interview. And
Yeah.
I went to school. I told them that I have never been to the US before. I've never traveled. You are calling me a connection man. If you know this coach, Jose Moreno, I believe you
Yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
He's a very renowned coach, and he wasn't a footballer, but he's a renowned and a popular coach. He has so many accolades to his name. So we have people who have knowledge, but they have never traveled before. But it's possible, and by God's blessing, right now I'm hitting around 1K, and people know that this this course was in the right direction. I've
Right.
had people on my Telegram page, just like yours, who have sailed through the process, and they are coming this July. So that was mine. That was my process. So I provided all these documents that you mentioned under EPI, but unfortunately, EPI sank me in the still waters. So
Wow.
that was my experience. As we are talking about the requirements of EPI, Mr. Otin was just mentioning all the documentations. As you are a follower of my channel or his, you already know what these documentations are, and we don't need to be stressing on it so much. So the next question that I would want to ask Mr. O is, so when or how did you feel? Okay, how did you feel when you had your first principal interview, then you got a job offer? How was the feeling?
The feeling was great because I had been with them. In fact, what for my situation, what happened was I started filling everything from, let's say, September of the previous year, 2018. So by January, every documentation was set. I have done my first interview, my second interview, and everything was set. So in early February, they emailed me that a school wants to interview with me. And I was shocked because I thought it would be in around April or May that way. And so I was a little anxious, but I've gotten some little coaching from my guys who have already come, and it wasn't too much. It wasn't much, but I was just confident that, hey, if they ask me whatever question, I'll say to the best of my ability. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat anything. So we had our interview, and it was a very successful one. In fact, the principal, for let's say for my part, the lack I had was the principal also loved to talk. he she loved to talk. So after asking the question, every little thing, every little answer you provide, kind of, then she will elaborate on it. Oh yeah, you know this, you know this, and I'm like, okay. At the end of the interview, I did the interview in the afternoon around 4 p.m. And when I was done by 7 p.m., I got a letter, an email that I have been selected, and that was it. It was fun, you know.
So you had a congratulatory message in the
Yeah.
afternoon, and I think I also had mine in February. I think on the
Okay.
9th or 11th of February, just after school. I had done my principal interview 3 days ago,
Hmm.
and when I saw the message, I'm a prayer on Alpha Hour, so I started saying, "Share the link, share the." It was so fun. Share the link, share the link. So though I was very dragging my feet
Hmm.
in applying to this program, but when I had a job offer, the feeling was different, and I showed my
Was
wife,
different.
and
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
were very happy. So it was now to the second stage, and
Hmm.
they needed this bank statement. Mine was, I think, is it $4,000? And as a teacher, as a Ghanaian teacher, where am I going to find this money? So it
Yeah.
was very, very difficult for me. And I pray to God, you are in control. That's what I said. God, you are in control. It
Exactly.
belongs to you.
Exactly.
So I called some friends who were businessmen, and you know that they denied me giving me a money to put in my account and print a statement to them. And I said, okay, so this is the time I know who my friends are. So it was a trouble for me,
Yeah.
seriously. But
Yeah.
a friend of mine was able to give me money to put in my account. Then we print a statement and we brought it down. I think it is the same challenges that people are going through, that they don't know how to get the money. Guys, you have gotten a job offer. So if you're going to conjure money from the space,
Oh
go and
yes,
conjure the money and put it in the account and let's go. Eh,
exactly.
do you think it's just a formality that the agencies are using, the bank statements? Because you're not asked about it at the embassy. Uh-huh.
No, I don't think so because it's a legal requirement for you to
Yeah.
have at least $2,000 or $2,500 in your account because it requires money. You know, you will be paying for your visa application fee. You will be buying tickets if you are using agencies that don't give you tickets and other things. So it's a requirement. You are going to a new country. They want you to have at least something that, if for anything, you can fall back on.
Yeah.
So it is not for us to think that, oh, it's just a formality. No, for me personally, I think it was a good requirement, and you needed to show that you have that money. Yes. So yeah, even though the embassy, the embassy will not check because this program is sanctioned by the U.S. government,
Yeah.
and it's a program that they know about. I mean, our time they didn't know so much about it, but now they know so much about it. So if you go, that is why they know. By the time you get to them, everything has been scrutinized, so you may
Very
not
good.
be
Very
asked for.
good.
Yeah.
Very good. And one thing I would want to ask: would you encourage someone to go for a loan for this process? A teacher.
Well, it depends on the person's financial situation and the
Okay.
person's personal ambition and plans and whatever. So many factors have to go into that. If you have gotten a job offer,
Mm-hmm.
your documents have been sent,
Mm-hmm.
and everything for you to go for your visa, and you are going for a loan as a cushion, that is perfect.
Okay.
If you are taking the loan to, so I had a situation on my page where some teachers had to even take a loan to do credential evaluation to evaluate their documents. They had to go for a loan, and they went for the loan to evaluate their documents only for them to be put on hold, and they made it seem like that is the end of their life because they used everything they had to go for this loan. I'm like, $190 or $170 is
Dollars.
money for you to be crying about as a teacher. But you see, again, we understand our situation back home. So it's a big money for them because of the inflation and all that. So personally, I will not advise you to go and take a big loan right from day one. You need to make sure that you are in a very comfortable position before you go for that money. Yeah.
Okay. And also, what I can add is, if you have plans of migrating to any country, start building your bank account. Even
Yeah.
you can use mobile money. You send 100 cities, 200, you withdraw. Just keep your bank account active. I
Yeah.
think if you are asked to present a bank statement, then all of a sudden your account has been dormant, and all of a sudden there is this huge $5,000 into your account. Bam, it will be suspicious.
Mm.
Especially EPI is very, very, very keen on that. If
Yeah.
they see a quick deposit or a huge deposit as they requested for the bank statement, they tell you to, how do you come
Mhm.
about that money. So always, if you have plans of traveling, build your bank statement, build it up. You can use 3 months, 6 months, just 100 cities you send into your account. If you're in Nigeria, let's say 2,000 naira, just any amount that you have, just keep your account active. Keep it
Yeah.
active so that it will help you up front. So as you said, it is not necessary for you to go for a loan at the initial stages. But if you will need a loan as you have your visa, as you have your DS 2019 and all that, and you go for the loan, I think it
Mhm.
makes sense. Yeah, it do really make sense. Okay, so a question that it just came into mind. I don't
Mhm.
know if you heard recently there was a news on CNN that the US, some of the states are
Mhm.
running out of funds to recruit new teachers. I
Yeah.
think Texas had that problem. Uh, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it's something that's been going on for some time now. I read that news last year. Most of the states, the school districts that have I mean, they don't have enough money or they don't have enough funding from the federal government and from their local government. Some of them have resorted to even doing 3 days in a week. Some are doing 4 days in a week. Some are doing less, and some have combined classes. So you may have maybe grade 1 and 2 combined into one class for a teacher to teach. Yes,
Wow.
happening in America.
In America.
Yes, in very remote areas like New Mexico, very deep down in places that they are not able to get enough funding to recruit more teachers. In fact, some of the school districts even have the access to the funding, but they are not able to attract teachers to those places.
Yeah.
So it's happening, but it's also, as I always keep saying, it's an opportunity for us. So long as you are ready and you have the means and you have the ability, this is the time to reach out to some of these school districts. They just need a reason to keep their schools open. But if they don't, they will have to close down some of the schools. Yes.
Okay, good. I brought up the question because I had people I assisted in applying to
Mhm.
this agency in Texas. It said IO Texas, and
Okay.
two of my friends were on the program. They had qualified a PI, and they were just waiting for the DS 2019 just to find out that they are dropping about 60 people, and there were a lot of Ghanaians on it.
Okay.
And they were dropped, and this lady was almost dying because she has struggled through the all the stages to get to that level just to find out that she's being dropped. So
Yeah.
that was the reason why I said so. The only advice we can say about this is always throw your seeds across board. Apply to a number of these agencies, and when one disappoints you, at least you have 3 or 4 as backup, and
Yeah.
you go through easily. Okay, I don't know if you have any other thing to say about that, or should we go to the next question?
Oh no, we can go to the next question. I think you've said it. That's exactly
Okay,
what.
good, good.
Yeah.
So now you have your job offer, your year 2019, and do you remember the day you went for your interview, your visa interview?
Yes, it was second.
2nd
Second.
July.
19,
Okay,
yeah.
so what happened in that room at the consulate?
When I got to the consulate, it was a very smooth process. That day, we had a lot of students who had also applied, so they were in the consulate for their visas, and you could be in the queue, and the U.S. embassy is such a way that if a visa officer is dealing with the one applicant, sometimes you can hear their conversations because of how we are seated. In fact, we were not even seated; we were standing, but those in front of me, they have a lot of students. I mean, I knew there was a lot of students ahead of me, so a lot of them got bounced. If we say bounced, they got rejected. The applications got rejected, but I wasn't perturbed. I was just chilling. I was, I was relaxed because I knew what I had and I knew what I was going for, and I knew our paths were different. So when it got to my turn, this visa officer called me and we had a conversation. It was basically a conversation because the questions were very straight to the point, and I gave straightforward answers. And I still remember some of the questions he asked me about what I'm going to do, who is taking me, who is paying for my trip, the school I'm going to, how much I'm going to earn, what work does my wife do, and how many children do I have. And we got conversation about what subject are you teaching, and I answered and all that. So it was conversational. It wasn't, and she was relaxed. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, were you asked to teach anything? Because I have a friend who met this counselor, and he asked, "So, what do you teach?" And he said he teaches maths. And he said, "What topic is he currently teaching at school?"
Hmm.
And he mentioned the topic, and he said, "Can you take me through?" And he was told to teach at the embassy.
Yes. Yes. They have. I've heard such stories, and I always tell people that if you are a professional teacher,
Yes.
be able to think on your feet. So if you have a visa officer who wants to push you to the wall, you should prove to them that yes, you know what you are about. You are a professional. You should be able to use anything in a person's environment to be able to explain mathematical concepts to them. So it's possible. I've heard a lot of people telling me that, oh, they asked them this, they couldn't answer. Even recently, just this April, a teacher was rejected. His application was rejected because he was asked to explain how he uses games to explain mathematical concepts to his students. And he was there. He couldn't even mention one game, one example of game.
Wow.
So it happens. But in any situation, I always tell people it is your confidence, it is the way you can think on your feet.
Yeah.
Because that visa officer may not necessarily be a mad bias,
Mhm.
I mean, person, but he just wants to see how confident you are, how you can, I mean, think out of the box. Know? So you can be asked anything, and you should be able to answer it.
As as you just said, so as a teacher, you know that you are going for this interview. I think there is a Bible verse that say that study to show thyself approved.
Proved
So
yes,
if you think you are a professional, you should always be on your feet. Like you should know the in and outs. So if
exactly.
you're asked how would you control a misbehaving class,
Hmm.
in the US you don't cane. So how are you going to do that? I believe by then you might have done your research and all that. Make
Exactly.
the best research ever before you enter before the consular, because anything can happen. Mine was that simple like yours.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What is your salary? Uh, which school are you going to teach and all that? It was that simple. Okay,
Mhm.
now you had your visa.
Yeah.
What was the feeling? How did you feel when you
I
were told to
was
bring your passport?
when they returned my passport, I was rather relaxed. As I said, I was confident I'll get this visa. All
Mhm.
right. I was very confident I would get a visa. So it wasn't a surprise to me. I would just say, okay, I was just relieved that okay, now I
Finally.
can settle my things and do whatever I need to do. So I just came out of the embassy. Took my car, went home. I didn't shout. I was just cool. I took it very calm, and because I maintained my calm because I knew I didn't want to give any telltales to anybody that I was about to travel.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I just kept my cool, kept it under wrap. The close friends who need to know, they know. My family who need to know, they know, and that's it. And I was just going to school normal because by then we're still in school. So I was going to school. My students were writing their final exams, their WASI exams. So I was still going to school. I attended school normal, I behaved normal, as if nothing has happened, you know. And I waited till the time I had to fly out.
Okay. So can you tell us, let's say you are a journalist that you've been sent to the US Embassy in cantonment.
Hmm.
Even before you enter to the premises of the embassy,
Hmm.
how is the aura like outside there? It-
Personally, I I am one person. The way the consulate is set up, you cannot enter and you don't have any place to sit. They don't make it comfortable for you. Let me say. So we have to line outside the consulate on the wall, and everyone in public transport will be looking at you, will be seeing you, and all that. So for me, I just took it cool. I just maintained my cool as if nothing was happening, and I stood in the queue. My time got in. We got inside. We sat down. We went through all the processes. I mean, so for me and personally, it is about how our governments have
yes.
signed or dealt with these foreign agencies or embassies. If not, there are things they could do better,
Yeah.
but you can't blame them. You can't blame them. So
So the reason why I asked was I had never been to the embassy before, and when I got there, if you want highly spiritual men of God, go there. If you want psychologists, motivational speakers that can actually advise you, go to the U.S. embassy out there. And
yeah.
immediately someone comes from the inside, and he or she is bounced or
Hmm.
denied. And boss, a be what? Try your luck next time, boss. More of him, more. and you can get the people who are praying
Yeah.
and as you said, we can't blame them. It's our government. If we had our things in line, I
Yeah.
don't even see the reason why we should queue in the sun before
Exactly.
you are allowed entry into their premises. It's so worrying. You see prominent people. I got there and someone was driving, I think, a Ford Expedition 2023 at
Mhm.
that time, meaning the person is very rich, and the person was denied. So that is it. They don't give a damn about anybody over there.
They don't.
They don't. They don't.
It's all about how. That is why this conversation of PAD versus came about. Yes, because at the end of the day, if I could sit in my home,
Mhm.
do my application online, and submit and pay my fee, either $100 or $200 or $50, and the visa will be issued to me. I mean, nobody will have to go through that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that is why people will do that comparison. But if even per my PhD, my doctorate, my position in society, I will still have to go through that
Process.
kind of humiliating situation.
Oh,
But as you know what you want, I mean, it doesn't feel like humiliation. Personally, I didn't feel like it was a humiliation. I just thought, okay, this is your process. So I'll just have to abide by your process and get what I want, and that's it. Yeah.
good. All right. So you had your visa now, and when did you leave Ghana? Actually,
I left Ghana on July 27th. Yeah.
July 27th. Okay. So was it your first time boarding a plane?
No, no, I had already gone to the UK and back before. So
I trust you. I know you are rich, so traveling is not a problem. So, so I think I'll skip that part. Me, it was my first time traveling, so
okay.
I got a visa on the I think is it 13 June or something.
Hmm.
So I booked the flight from Kumasi. I
Okay.
just didn't want to fly the Kumasi Accra road because I don't want to know which to have so I flew from Kumasi to Accra, and it was nice. Like as I was coming, even the day that on the eve of my departure, I
Hmm.
was sitting on a sewing machine trying to finish people's orders. So I
Wow.
didn't feel
Wow.
so elated or so enthused about traveling.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was until I got to New York and I said, finally, I can see that I have changed my geographical location.
Hmm.
And the experience up there, seeing the clouds, seeing how the white man, the American, has planned their estate and their apartment and all that. I was just laughing and this is serious.
Hmm.
This is serious. So we got down, and the rest is going to follow as we talk. So you touched down in New York before you move to your actual destination, or what?
Yes, yes. My first point of entry was New York, JFK, and
Okay.
did a connecting flight to Orlando. Yes.
What can you say about flight? I watched the video, which was very, 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 very knowledgeable. You said if you're booking a flight, make sure you have a connecting flight that has a lot duration of layover. What can
Yeah.
you say about that? And
Yeah.
I believe some are coming right now, so this advice will be very key. So what can you say about booking a flight?
Yes. I said that because it's with my experience. In fact, I got in contact with about two other Ghanaian teachers who were going to the same destination.
Mm-hmm.
So with the same agency. So we linked up, and one of them nearly missed his flight
Okay.
because he joined the wrong line. You know, when you get to JFK, they have the queue or the line for citizens and they have one for the non-citizens. So the citizens ones were shorter. So he thought, oh, I'm going to join this immigration queue and go faster. He got there before he was asked to go back to the non-citizens. And by the time he came, we had already gone ahead of him. And he nearly missed it. It was just by the save. He was saved by the bell. He nearly missed. And if you miss that flight, it is your responsibility to buy a new ticket to connect.
Wow.
I have experiences of other teachers and colleagues who some of them slept in LaGuardia airport for more than 2 days.
Wow.
because they missed a flight, connecting flight in Ethiopia. So the whole thing is structured. That is why I said that when I did that video, I said, make sure you have an airline ticket that gives you enough layover. When you are a first time traveler and you are connecting flights, have enough layover. So let's say if you are moving from Accra to Morocco, then from Morocco to Miami, the layover in Morocco, make sure that it is enough to make sure you can get to your next flight. Then when you get to Miami, if you have to connect from Miami to another place, make sure that you are not rushed, because these airports are very busy. They are very big. So by the time you go through immigration, go through TSA, go through all the processes, you may have a very little time to be able to go to your next domestic flight. So that is why it's very, very important that they know some of these things. Yeah. So if you're a new teacher coming this year, please make sure in buying your ticket, you take into consideration some of these things. Yeah.
Okay. I'll also add that when you are, I don't know the platform that you're going to use to buy your ticket. Always make sure you are not making a transit at two different airports. If you're going to get to, let's say, Gatwick Airport, and your next flight is in Heathrow, in Europe, you need a visa to get out from Gatwick before you get to Heathrow. So check all these things before you buy your ticket, because it is very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. And by the time I think I took Egypt Air, and we got to Egypt. And even before, my layover was like 6 hours. So I really agreed on what you just said. If you have a lower or a lesser layover time, I think it is going to go against you. And at that time, our flight moved around for almost an hour before it got a place to park.
Wow.
So a flight can delay. So if you have, let's say, 1 hour layover time, I'm sorry, you might
Yeah.
miss your flight. And one other advice I can say is, you are a teacher, you are an intellectual. Make sure you read things as you move around the airport. You might have just 30 minutes to get to your boarding gate. And it's good to be asking around, but pick up clues. They have this small board, baggage claim at this side, go to this side, get this, get that. Keep on looking at clues. And since you are a first time traveler, it is normal for you to get lost. So reading all these clues and asking is a best advice we can give to people so I don't know if you have any other thing to give to any first time traveler who's coming in this July before
No,
we move on to the next question, huh?
I think you have said it all. So they should just make sure that they read around, and if you are in doubt, just talk to a security at the airport. Make sure the person is in uniform, and just approach them, either a police or an immigration officer. Just ask them, please, I'm going here. This is my ticket. I need help finding my gate. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how did you get accommodation? Did your sponsors arrange anything for you when you got to your final destination in Orlando? How did you get accommodation?
No, you have to do the accommodation arrangement by yourself. So with EPI, they give you links to possible apartment complexes
Hmm.
that are ready to accept your application, even though you are not in the US.
Okay.
So I applied through one of them, and I got an accommodation paid for before I came. At least we didn't pay for it full, but we did application, do the processes that we need to send, all the documents we need to send to them. So when we came, and we went to finalize the process with that apartment. Yes.
Okay. So everybody should be uh, plan that ahead. Yeah, plan that ahead. And if you know other teachers in the US who can assist you, if they're in the same destination that you're going, they can also be of very good help. Okay, so what was your first time experience? You've been to UK. I know you're a traveler. Fine. What was your first time experience touching ground in the US? In the airport, JFK, you might not see around very well, but what was the first time experience in your final destination, Orlando?
Oh well, it was that of a relief. It
Mhm.
was a big relief for me because I had been in the air for a long time, and we were just tired. I was just tired, and I just wanted to get home and rest. or get to the hotel and rest. So it was a big relief. I mean, and it was good looking around and seeing efficiency and how efficient, you enjoy it. You enjoy it. You go here, do this, do everything was well organized. So it was just a big relief. Yes.
Oh, good, good. So I stayed in New York for 2 weeks, and it was quite a disappointment until I went to Manhattan. So my family is in Brooklyn, so I go to Brooklyn, and I've heard so many rumors about US. US is like heaven and all that. So I go to Brooklyn, and I saw filth, litters all around. I saw potholes. I said, ah. And I asked my sister, am I here with you? Do you see me? Do you really see? Because I wasn't believing it. So
Yeah.
I slept, and the next day I looked outside and I said, "Oh, finally, I can see that this side of the town is quite clean. So I'm here. Yes, I'm here." So on that day, she took me to the downtown of New York, which is
Yeah.
Manhattan, and oh my,
Yeah.
the place is nice.
That's
So
America.
it was then I concluded finally I have to, because when I was in Brooklyn, I didn't believe it because it was just like Aswa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was just like Aswa, so I didn't see the difference. Okay,
I
so
mean,
now to the major part of our interview, cultural shock.
mhm.
Cultural shock. But
Yeah.
before that, when did you start your job actually, and what was your first time experience? When did you start work? Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we arrived, we were checked to a hotel, and we had an orientation with our agency EPI. We had that orientation for like 3 days, 3 days orientation, and after that they'll disperse you. And if you have your room already, just book Uber or a taxi. It takes you to your apartment. If you don't, you have to find your way around. So right after the orientation, we all dispersed out, went out. Then the following day, when I got to my apartment, it was a weekend. It was a Friday, so we had to sleep Saturday, Sunday, and Monday before I reported to school.
Uh-huh.
Went to the administration, introduced myself, showed them my documentations and everything. Then we were arranged. They arranged an orientation session for us the following day, and so I had to go in and start my orientation. They show you to your classroom. They show you where you'll be teaching the subject and everything. So it went on like that. Then my first day of meeting the students came,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it was a big shock. A big shock, yes. For every new teacher that is coming, the truth is you will be experiencing a very big cultural shock. But you see, fortunately for them, we are doing all these videos on YouTube, on Facebook, where we are trying to ease their pain. We give them tidbits here and there. We are organizing webinars for them. So at the end of the day, when they come, the shock will not be that much.
Yeah.
We that had nothing like that. So when we came, it was like boom, right in your face, and you have to deal with it. It was a 360 degrees turn because what we are used to back home, how we are used to teaching, how we are used to handling things is totally different. Here, back home, you, the teacher, have to go around from class to class. Here, the children come to you. So the class is your office, and the children will come to you. So those differences was a big deal for me. It was a really big deal for me. And their attitudes, just the attitude of the students, the way they talk to you, the way they relate to you. It was something that was new to me, you know. That was, even though you had a little idea of how they will behave, but
Mhm.
I didn't know it would be that big of
Very big, very, very big.
and what we see on TV and what people have said to us, I mean, did not match because the reality was different, far different than what we have already heard. Yes. So
Okay. So uh, I think we need to throw more light on the cultural stuff.
okay.
So on the accent issue,
Mhm.
how did the kids receive your accent?
Well, that was the first one. They will tell you you have an accent. they will tell you straight away you have an accent. Then at first I didn't know how to deal with it. So I'm like, okay, yes, I have an accent because I'm from Africa. And constantly, some of these students will keep telling you, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't get you, man. I don't get it. I just they just want to make sure that you are not able to teach them. I mean, we didn't know. I didn't know when I came first that they don't like to be in the classroom. So we were the normal, the normal Ghanaian teacher. You want to teach, you want to stand in front of them and talk. No, no, we didn't know. So they complain about the accent and complain about them not understanding you, even though you knew very well, because they will tell you about all the Nigerian movies, all the songs they listen, but yet they tell you to understand you. That was a big one, yes.
So rating, giving a ratio in percentage,
Mhm.
content and classroom management, which one takes the highest ratio in a percentage?
Oh, I'll give 80, yes, 90% to classroom management and 10% to content.
Mhm.
Yes, because it is not, you see, back home it was about the content. It wasn't about the classroom management because we had our own radical way of dealing with students. Teacher will shut up, sit down, they will knock your head, they will punish you small. Those ones were there. But here, it was about managing people. You are managing, so it's like you are a coach. You are supposed to manage the students,
Yeah.
manage their ego, manage their misbehaviors, manage everything about them before you can present a 10% content to them. Because if you don't do all these things, you can do 80% content and nothing will go in.
Yeah.
But if you are able to achieve a 90%, 99% of management, human management, the 10% or the 5% or the 2% content that you put in, it sticks. So that was one other shock that we had because, as I said before, we are used to standing in front and talking. But here, you had to, adapt a different approach
Yeah.
to delivering content to these students. Yes.
Okay. So I think I will share a little info about your first time meeting these kids.
Mm.
I think these kids seeing you for the first time will be a bit hostile to you.
Yeah.
Put that in your head.
Mm.
On my first day, I had watched some videos of yours. You interviewed Selassie and some
Yeah.
pioneer, experienced teachers over here. So someone said, "Oh, let them know that you have an accent. Prepare a slide," and I did everything. Now listen. So I got there. I started my slide. I showed them my family. This my wife. This my house. My car. Eh, It was like I was saying gibberish to them.
Yeah.
Just as I go away and please note they will be hostile to you
Yeah.
because you are from Africa, and don't take it so serious if you hear any racial comments.
Oh,
Someone told me I should go back to my Africa where I come from.
yeah.
So all these comments will be very hostile to you, but stay strong because it will definitely break you apart. And the incident that I always share in my interview was I had these students, I think the eighth graders,
Mm.
one of them lifted his leg, put it on a table right in front of me. And I told him, my friend, put your damn leg down. I didn't know damn was so insulting. It was a cuss word over here.
Mm.
And the whole class said, "Ooh, he's going to be fired. He's going to be fired." And the mistake I did was apologizing to them the next day. Someone told me I shouldn't have applied because they wouldn't remember it. And when I told them, guys, damn doesn't mean that insulting in my country. And what some others said, what does it mean in your country? What does them? They were just yelling at me
Yeah.
like a small boy, senior man in my country. I have companies and all that. Like I was nothing before them.
Yeah.
I was nothing before them. They were just throwing me apart. Guys, stay strong and always talk to people like Mr. O and I. We can cheer you up a little bit because at this place, if you don't have anybody to motivate you,
Mm.
guys, guys, you might pack your baggages and go. I nearly packed my things to go.
Yeah.
I called my sister in New York. That sister, this job there, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm coming back to New York. And he said, my friend, everybody took like this. So I was watching your videos. I had some Ghanaian friends over here who were also just advising me and all that. And the second incident was this eighth grader also got up and started twerking in front of me. And like, I didn't know what to do. I was so depressed. Hey, sit down. They never listened to me. So it is normal. It is very normal. They'll be hostile to you, racial comments. They might even insult you, but stay strong. It's just for 3 months. For after 3 months, if you're able to hold your composure, I think you can sail through very well. So that is my portion of the cultural shock. I don't know if you have any other
Oh,
nice incident that happened that you can share with our
but
viewers.
as for the incident, if you want to start it now, we are not going to finish because right from day one, the incidents will start. The misbehaviors, and you see, they know that you are not so versed in how to handle them.
Yeah, and they won't try you.
Try you, they will push you. They will push you to the last breath. And once they know that you are not so much conversant with what is happening in the school, that is their right. They will override you right now. So I tell people right from day one, put your foot down, stamp your authority. No, let them know that you know the consequences. If they misbehave, you can send them out. You can call for an escort for them to be sent out. You can, no, you can write them up. You can call home. You can send a letter to their parents. Let them know right from day one that these are your rules. These are how we are. This is how you're going to play. That way, you have a smooth ride. But if you go in with a Ghanaian attitude, oh, see that, you will have a very tough first semester, very tough one, and for the rest of the school year, you may not be able to recover. Yes.
I learned a lesson from my principal. He said you should be firm
Yeah.
and fair. So that is one. And also don't yell at them. If
Mm.
you want to tell them something for them to take it serious, you said it once and someone said you remove your eye. Tell them sit down.
That's it.
It shouldn't be a yell. Like don't scream at them.
Yeah.
Sit down. It should be so strong and confident and just don't repeat it. Because when you yell at them, what do you think I'm doing? What do you think I'm doing? They are going to throw back at you. So just state it once and remove your eye. Like continue with all the proceedings that is going on in the class. So that is it. Now, what is so unique about the US education system? You've been here for 5 years, so you are the best person to tell us. What is so unique? And if you compare it to the Ghana education service, what is so unique? And let's see.
Thank you, Miss Abri. Look, the uniqueness, I have mentioned it so many times, even on my channel. There's so many things that is unique. So many things. So many that are so different. The classroom arrangement, number one. The number of students you are teaching, the teacher-student ratio, number two. The decentralization structure,
Yeah.
that it's also a very, good thing. You don't have to always go to the national level to get things done. Unlike Ghana, Africa, where even every little thing you have to go to
Go
Accra.
to Accra.
No, here at the district level, everything. In fact, it's the district that pays you. It is not even national level. So that's one of the things that I enjoy so much, and it is very simple, straight to the point. And then also how you have the resources you need to teach.
Yes.
Resources are in abundance. Companies are giving that for free. The schools, the district is providing avenues for you to have resources. Anything you need. In fact, they make money available for you to buy things that you need for your classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much we can talk about. There's so much. The attitude of even your principals, how you relate the administration and how they relate to you and all that. It's all different. And I believe if any of us leaves here to go back to Ghana to teach, we will be able to input some of these things. But you realize that you'll be frustrated because the structure down there is not what you are used to. That's why you see people who have traveled out, they come back home and they seem to be frustrated about every little thing. It's not their fault. It is just that you get used to efficiency to the level that you see chaos and you are angry, you know? You are angry. Why should a teacher be teaching 100 students in a class? When I was back home, in one of my classes, I had over 120 students that I had to teach, assess them, and also give feedback. It wasn't simple. It wasn't easy. But here you have a maximum of 20 students that you have. You are able to do your teaching
Mhm.
very well in a very simple manner, and it works. The classrooms are well lit. The classrooms are well. I mean, they are big enough to accommodate everyone, and there is a structure. We have a disciplinary structure in the school.
Mhm.
You know, where I can refer students to the principal, and they will be assigned appropriate. I mean, disciplinary actions and all that. There's so many, so many. In fact, I've enjoyed so many that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go back to Ghana. Yeah, not because I don't love my country, but because
Mhm.
of the fight that I'm going to fight with people. Uh, oh yes, I'll be fighting with them, and I know very well that I'm not going to get these resources. But you want to implement something new, which you cannot. So those are the things. Those are the things, and I believe you yourself you have experience and you know a lot of other benefits that you have. 5 years down here has been a very good eye opener for me, and I'm still learning because here you don't stop learning. The professional development opportunities you don't stop. It is daily, it is weekly, it is per semester, it is monthly. It comes and keeps coming. You know, you are trained in how to respond to emergencies. You are trained in how to respond to if is having a problem in your class. I mean, so many avenues. You know, back home we don't even know how to deal with somebody who is having a fit or who is having a seizure.
Yeah.
We don't know. When a student is sick, we just call and give him some medication. Here you cannot give medication to students. You are not allowed to do that. So many things. So I think the differences are so many. There are so many. Depending on
Okay,
the
so
we're
can
looking at.
you tell us some few pros of the Ghanaian education system if you compare it to the US? You know that the positives of the US are quite plenty, but are there some positives regarding the Ghana education sector?
Yeah. I mean, there's always positive in every chaos, right? There is always a positive in every chaos, and depending on how you want to look at it. For me, as a person who schooled in Ghana and also had opportunity to teach in Ghana,
Mhm.
I would say we have because in terms of content, let me start it from this way. In terms of content, it is almost the same across board.
Okay.
The content is almost because I was teaching elective math. So when I came here and I was looking at their math structure, and I realized that oh, okay, it's almost the same thing. But then it's the delivery that
Mhm.
is different. It is how they are. I mean, it is structured for them to receive it. That is what is different. So we back home have a lot of positives. We are much focused on content, how students will understand a certain concept. We present things in orderly manner, structure by structure, like we follow order. You have to solve this one before you go here, before you go here. No, that is we, and that I always say that we have, and also the discipline to understand the importance of education.
Yeah.
We are disciplined to get to that point. Well, will I say this? Yes, to the greater extent, we are disciplined to see the importance of education in our life because it is one sure escape from poverty for almost everyone. Uh-huh. But here, it is not about how you got to the answer. It is the answer. I don't know
Yeah.
if you understand me.
I get
Therefore,
you.
this is the problem. What happens in between? I'm much concerned about it. I'm concerned about how I got the answer. So that is why you realize that somebody can finish high school and tell you that I don't want to go to college. I don't want to go to the university.
But
But
there's
yet
Walmart.
that person can still try and live his or her life comfortably
Yeah.
without a university education. That is the only difference. We are so much focused on the education to the point that we lose sight of how to build humans. We build these kids with content, but we don't build them for life. We don't educate them for life. We teach them all the things. Oh, don't insult adults. Don't do this. But you realize that even in our part of the world, the things that we think are being the positives tend to go against us. It makes our students very timid. It makes our students very timid. We shout at them, we insult them, we knock their head. Those go against professional standards. I mean, all over the world. These kids, we don't, right? We don't insult them, we don't yell at them. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, in as much as we think they are disrespectful, they don't do this, they are still better off than our people who have completed university with all the discipline, all the morals. You understand my point? So for me, yes, we have so many positives back home. We have so many positives, the learning, the attitude to education, the attitude to learn, the spirit behind you understanding that I need to go to school, is there. Unlike here, and I believe it is the economic structure in each country that is why
Yes.
I can decide that.
Yeah.
Because if we have a better structure where you can transition or there is an exit point for everyone, I believe it would have been different. Yeah.
Yeah. I really side with you because I was telling my class that I teach in the middle school, and looking at the IQ on the performance of some of the students, comparing it to even as a fifth grader back in Ghana, a fifth grader might be so much brilliant than these kids,
Yeah.
but they are so much exposed.
Gladly.
So the learning motivation is quite different over here. So if I complete SHS or if I complete high school and if I can get Walmart to work, why should I go to a college?
Exactly.
So they are not motivated in that channel. But in Ghana, even a PhD holder is not getting a job to do. So why stay there? Go to more school, and you, if by grace or by chance a work falls on your laps, then you take it. So I think we can do the checks and balances and learn the positive of this side and the positive
Yeah.
on the other side as well, so that we can even, we as parents, we can know how to even bring up our kids, because uh, uh, trying to yell at kids, domineering them too much also makes them timid, as you just said. So I've really learned a lot on this journey, a lot, a
Yeah.
lot. Their exposure, it's so huge. And if you come to the US, you are given free laptops and everything, and the kids are just destroying these laptops. But even senior high school students back home, university students back home are not getting this opportunity. But
Mhm.
we are learning it the hard way. That is
Yeah.
one of the opportunity, the pros or the positive side of being a student in Africa. So whenever they come here, they excel so much because they've learned it the hard way. And people here have all the things on a silver platter, but they are not making good use of it. So it has positive and negative. So we should advise ourselves as teachers. And if right now the two of us, you should go home. I know we can run a whole senior high school, and we can
Oh,
implement some of these things and
oh
make
yeah.
it better. So
Yeah.
that is the importance for you, a teacher watching me right now, to come on this program. Even if not for the money, professionally, you get a lot of skills and knowledge on this program. All right. So
But
now, uh-huh.
with this, before you go to your next question, I just want every opportunity I get, I say this everywhere. That listen, even with all our so-called education, right?
Mhm.
He said we are better than them. We feel superior to them. Yes, we are superior to them. But at the end of the day, where has it landed us?
End products.
Where has it landed us? So that student that you think he's a school dropout, he's not going to college. He's going to farming. The government is giving him a grant
Funding. Yeah.
funding, right? In the next 4, 3, 5 years, he's set up for life. He has about $1 million as his savings bank account. His turnover is over $10 million. You have gone to university with all the accolades,
With
yet
no job.
we cannot even create a little job, a simple job for you. So we staying and trying to make these people look as if they are not serious in life. No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What has your seriousness gotten you? Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
All the schools that we think we are going, we are the ones who are doing the best schools. And the year we see him, where has he even led you? So I tell people all the time, don't let us just castigate them in blank check, because at the end of the day, most of these companies, look at them, none of them have PhDs.
Yeah,
It's only few of them that have higher education.
yeah,
Most of it guys. Amazon is not your regular PhD holder in classroom. Elon Musk is not your regular PhD holder in the classroom. All the businesses you have here, you go to them, you see their qualification. Are like, look, even some of the principals and people we have better qualifications than them.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is about efficiency. It's about getting
And
the result.
the output is a
That's,
hallmark.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so worrying sometimes, and I think the problem is hinged on leadership and economic ambitions. If your
exactly.
country doesn't have a good leadership, you can go to the school, get a professor emeritus and all that. But if they don't have foundations laid down for you to, make a better living from that schooling that you made, I think it's needless. Okay. So now to the biggest motivation factor.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know if you can share a little bit about the salary motivation or the financial motivation that someone should base on to come on this program. How much is a US teacher being paid? On my channel, I am so open about the salary that I take, because here you can't hide your salary. If you go to any school district, it
Yeah.
is the salary grade structure is always there. So I don't see the need for me to hide my salary. But I'll give you the range. So what can you say? The monetary benefits.
Yeah.
What can you say about that? How much is it, and how do you spend it? What's the budget and all of that?
Okay. Thank you. And one thing I always say is most of us are making these decisions based on economic.
Mhm.
So most people who are traveling is because of economic reasons why they are traveling.
Yeah.
All right, it's because of the cash. That's why they are traveling. Now, we normally will want to compare with our home country. So at the end of the day, we say, oh, we are getting this much here. When you bring it to my home country, it is this much better off. Yes. In terms of that comparison, it will be better off. But in terms of maybe living here and build a different life, it may not necessarily be a better off. But it is still an upgrade from what you are used to.
Yeah.
Finance or teacher salary or remuneration in the US is district based, it is state based. So I may be teaching in Texas. I'll be getting $6,000 every month. You will be the same structure, the same years of experience. You will be in North Carolina and you may be taking a different salary because of how the
Decentralization.
independent, the cost of living in that area all goes into factoring how much a teacher is paid.
Yeah.
Because when I came, I was taking when I came in 2019, I was being paid about 4,200 or so every month, right? 4,200 every month. I paid my rent out of it. I buy gas. I drive to school. I do everything, and I still have some coins to save. All right, comfortably. If I say comfortably, you understand what I mean.
I got.
Comfortably. Uh-huh. And from time to time they increase the salary. They do a review of the salary and they add something up, and they have other contingencies along the way that they add up to maybe allowance for this, allowance for
Yeah.
that. So you may not necessarily have a on paper you have a particular amount. When I moved to North Carolina, I was taking like 50,000
A year.
a year. So that is like about 5,000 gross. Then they'll do the deduction, tax, they'll do all those tax deductions, and it comes down to around four something, or yeah, almost three something, close to four. And again, you must understand that the tax structure depends on the state, it depends on the district, it even depends on the years you have been in the US.
Yeah.
So if you are in your first year, there are certain deductions that you will not be deduct. It will not be deducted from your salary. The moment you move to your second year, your third year, the deductions differ. And in fact, some states they pay both state tax and federal tax. Some
Mm-hmm.
states only federal tax. So like Florida, we were only paying federal tax. We were not paying state tax.
Yeah.
So we're not deducting salary tax from our salary. And in North Carolina, you are paying both. You are paying a tax to the government and you are paying a tax to the state. And now when I moved to the second year and I was going, now my income bracket changes. So therefore I am put in a different tax bracket. So my taxation will never be the same as any other person. Everyone has a different, but it's all around. It's because it's percentages. It's all around it. And a teacher who is on H-1B visa may be taking 70,000, 80,000. I know teachers who are taking $100,000 a year in the US. Yes. So it differs. It differs based on the place you are and where you are going. But on the overall, I tell people, and I said I've said it on my channel that I've stopped encouraging anybody to come because of the money. Because you have to, we say back home, watch and look and assess yourself and just go to the ballot and vote for a good leader. At the end of the day, if you cannot assess yourself, you cannot sit down and do your personal assessment as a person, as a human being, and say, well, I think traveling to the US would be a better option. I don't need to convince you. You understand? I don't need to convince you because we have done that. That's what we're doing from day one. And it seemed like we were forcing people. There were people who, and it seemed like we forced them. And I'm like, you know what? I have stopped. I will put the information out there. I will show you the opportunities out there. You decide. The decision is yours. Because I believe me, when Christ came, he was to do the work of the Father, and everybody who wants to follow them, you follow. And if you follow him, he will make you a fisher of man. He will change your life. But if you think you need somebody, you need Mr. Yao, you need me, you need whoever to convince you, no, we are not. We are not going to convince you because the money, look, the money is small. Let me say it this way: the money is small.
It's small.
It's big because they are paying you $500 or you are getting a net salary of let's say $3,500 every month. That is a big money back home. But when you bring it here,
It's
it
nothing.
takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of self-discipline in order to live on that 3,500. And again, let me make this clear: why I would choose the US over Ghana any day. Forget about the salary any day. Is the opportunities I have. Look, I have access to credit cards. Credit card is the opportunity to say, you know what, spend and pay us back.
Simple.
Spend and pay us back. So even if I don't have any money on me, I know I am comfortable. I am not worried. Unlike back home, if you don't have money in your account, you don't have cash, you don't even know how your children are going to survive.
Yeah.
It is a danger. And you see, I cannot live in a situation. Look, I may not have money in my account. I may not even have $1. But do you know if I fall sick right now, or my daughter or my family is sick right now, I don't have to go to the hospital with money.
Yeah.
Ambulance, I can call 911, they'll come and take me, they'll treat me. Their concern is to save life.
And pay later.
And even after saving that life, they'll tell you that we will have an organization that pays bills for people. So bring your application. If you qualify, they'll pay for you. If you don't qualify, they'll tell you, okay, we will give you payment terms. How much can you pay? $50 a month. Because at the end of the day, that is my focus.
Yeah.
I did a video and I tell people all the time, it is not about the money. It is about the opportunity. It's about the structure that I'm enjoying. And the peace of mind I have that, look, if today I fall, there is a system that will cater for my family. There's a system that will cater. That is what I'm talking about. Unlike back home, there is no guarantee. If you fall today, you are gone. You are done. I've seen teachers who have gotten cancer, who have gotten whatever, and that is the end of their life. Here, there are structures, things that you can fall back on anytime. So the money alone cannot be a motivation. Look, trust me, Mr. Yao, if they want to talk about the money, I don't think you'll be here. I don't think I will be here.
Yeah.
Yes, the money is good, but at the end of the day, in our quest, how we see, like how the business we're doing and how we wanted to get income, this is not the kind of income we are looking at.
Not at all. Not at all.
Exactly. But why do we still come here? Because there is a better system, there is a better structure in terms of opportunity, in terms of other things that I can do to make more money. You know, that is all. So for the remuneration, it's good. It's good, depending on how you look at it.
So I was telling a friend the other time that if you were a teacher back in Ghana that had no other side hustle, this money will be money for you. And
Exactly.
sometime I was telling a friend that Charlie, as I came here, there I'm not feeling crowd because the kind of things I was, if I'll be in school, someone called Charlie, I need a shoe and some clothes. I'll be going for a program, and then no, the person will send money. I
Yeah.
don't usually get that here, but
Exactly.
if you look deep into the horizon, you see that they have systems that if you are able to put your foot on ground, you can arrange things, and
Oh
in the
yeah.
next 5 years, you can get something bigger than what you were earning back home. That is our hope. Seriously,
Yeah.
that is the hope. It's not the money because the money, if currently my net is 3,400, it is nothing. If you send it here, it is nothing.
Yeah.
But if you send it back home, you think it's money. But right now, a dollar is 15.5 or so. You
Mm-hmm.
have more money, but what can you buy with that money back home?
Exactly.
But the experience, the knowledge, the systems you are being privy to over here, I think that is the best motivation that you can rely on to come on this program. As you said, you're not going to convince anybody, but if you come and you test the system,
Yeah.
you go talk through. You will really really talk to say this place be some nice place. If
Exactly.
back in Ghana, I know some teachers, if they have the money to buy a simple car,
Mm-hmm.
their life will be perfect for them.
Oh yeah.
Because in Ghana, if you build and if you buy a car, we think you are successful. And over here, a car is nothing.
Yeah.
Even the dropout is driving some nice car. So all those things that we value so much back home is nothing over here. So if you base on that, it will be a stepping stage or a stepping stone for you to attain higher glories. So I think that is the only thing. And one more thing is, I'm a person who like DIY, do it yourself. And if I see something on YouTube and I just order,
Mm-hmm.
by the next 3 days I open my door, it will be on the ground waiting for me. I said, wow.
Exactly.
So even that thing alone will keep me here. Just that alone. Like the accessibility to certain things that you find it so difficult, even to receive PayPal transfer in Ghana is difficult.
You can't.
You can't. You can't buy on eBay.
No.
You can you you have to go to Aboso Okai with and mechanics will just be duping you and all that. But this place, the mechanics are charging higher thing. But if you are very handy, you can buy your tools, you can buy car parts easily, and you fix it. So this
Yep.
system, as you said, umpewe. Then what else do you want? So I think we are coming to the end of the interview, and it's so nice talking to you because I saw you to be like a role model. The first day I saw your video, I told my wife that I'll be like this man, uh, sharing information and all, and people are so happy that I know how Ghanaians are. I have
Yeah.
a guy over here who came straight from home with H1B. I've
Okay.
convinced him so much to, share some knowledge about it. And he doesn't want to come onto the camera. And some of us, if we put some part of our personal lives on YouTube, it's for a reason. We want you to be motivated. You want you to come and benefit from this opportunity that the US government is, giving to international teachers. And I don't know what else you're waiting for. Follow, subscribe to Mr. O's channel. He had a Telegram page, and unfortunately, um, unfortunately, he closed the Telegram page because of some attitude of Ghanaians. We feeling some sense of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
So but I still have my Telegram page where I gather some information and knowledge from him and put it there. And if you have anything, I'll put the Telegram link in the description section. You can follow us over there. I have people I've helped who are also on standby to help you. If you have any question that is over me, I go to my boss. He tells me, yeah, do this, do that, do that. And because he's very experienced and because of his outfit on the internet, he's privy to a lot of information experiences of other teachers. So one last question.
Okay.
This is what most of the teachers ask me. Yeah. So after the 3 to 5 years, what next? Because I don't want to come back home.
Okay.
I don't want you to go so much detail into someone's life, but I want to ask a simple question. Is there light at the end of the tunnel after the 5 years?
Yes. In fact, there is light in the tunnel itself. And so there is nothing to be scared of. Don't worry about the 5 years. I believe, and I always tell people, your concentration is to be able to come in first.
Entry first.
Entry first. You can't be outside and be asking about 5 years after 5 years. Such people, they are not ready to. No, they are not ready for anything. So if you come to me with that question, I don't even respond to you.
Simple.
I tell you that stay home because the $300 your government is paying you every month is enough for you. So it's okay. Just stay there. It doesn't make sense to even be asking that. There is life after the end of the 5 years. I am transitioning now to the H-1B visa. If you come with the H-1B, it's just like moving from your bathroom to the hall. You are going to the green card, and that is a permanent residence. So at the end of the day, there are so many paths. Yeah, trust me, America is a land where there are so many immigration paths.
Yeah.
You come with this one, they say you can pass here and enter. You come with the pass here and enter. So I asked myself, I was talking to a lawyer recently, and I said, why is it that, or how would they create so many paths?
It's intentional.
You understand? So in effect, they don't want you to go. You see, they are come and leave. Oh, no, no, no. So long as you are legal, so long as you are doing things right in this country, nobody wants you to leave because it is of economic benefit to them if you stay. You understand? So that is the last thing people should be thinking about now. Your thinking is, how do I apply? How, if I get a school, come here. How do I maintain myself?
Yeah.
That is the question you should be asking. Once you are here, then you will expose you to, because truth be told, there are things we cannot see on these apps.
Yeah.
There are things we cannot share in the public. There are things that can be shared behind the scenes. Yes, people are sharing it, but trust me, we have our ways and means that you cannot see everything on this blue app or the red, So it is your responsibility to get in first. Yeah, I'll encourage you to do that. Anybody who asks that question, you tell them they are not serious because you, if I don't even got a visa, you haven't even got in the school. You are thinking about 5 years beyond 5 years. They are the ones who will come and they get frustrated easily and they want to pack home because they think, oh, the thing is not working as I expect it to be. No. Look, there's a teacher who came in from Nigeria. He's in right now. He's gotten his green card. Just 1 year.
After 1 year.
After 1 year. There are so many opportunities. There are so many ways to do things. So they shouldn't be caged. And trust me, everyone, there are so many different visas. They have from BA all the way to Z.
O and K and a lot of visas.
So everyone has their part. Somebody may come in with the O visa. Somebody may come with the B1, B2 visa. You are coming with the J visa. Somebody is coming with the H1B. Your parts are different.
Yeah.
So the path to green card or permanent residency may always be different. That is what people need to understand. You cannot say because Kwame came with American lottery and this is how he did it. So Yao also should. No. Yao came with the J1. So Yao's path will be different. Kwame came with the H1. His path is different. But at the end of the day, we are all going to converge at the same point and we are all going to stay here. So long as you want to stay here, there are opportunities and there are paths to remain here. So they shouldn't worry at all. They should come in. Yes.
All right. So the last word you're going to put out there for people who have not yet even started the application process. Any advice?
I'll tell them that the opportunities are real, number one, and the things we talk about is true. There are teachers who are living experiences, living examples of that. I am one. Mr. Yao is one. We are all teachers. We are all teachers back home in our home country, and we relocated with our families. The beautiful thing that we didn't even mention is you come in with your family.
Family.
This opportunity is open, and your families can get their documents to work even as you are teaching in a school. So I encourage you, if you have not filled any of the applications, go on his page or come to my page anywhere. You will get the links to apply to some of these agencies, file your documents, and make sure you have it set. Then we see how it goes because there are so many in all America that opportunity. There are 1,001 of opportunities here. Even as a teacher, you can take advantage of. So my encouragement is come if you can, and come if it fits your agenda in life or your plan for life or your whatever your objectives that you have set for yourself. So long as it fits in it, move, make the move. Even if it doesn't fit in it and you think you want to go to Tunisia, please. If you need to go to Bajan, you can go. Even if it's Ukraine that you think that is where you want to go, please go. So long as you are stagnant and stayed in one place, you are going to lose a lot of opportunities. I tell people this all the time that listen, it is not only about when we say traveling. Traveling, Jackpa, is beyond just the concept of coming to Canada or America.
Mm-hmm.
You can even leave your village in Asenkragua and go and live in Bon.
Yeah.
That is what you experience in Bon and Asenkragua will be different. What you'll be experiencing in Accra and maybe Boasi will be different. What you are experiencing in Kumasi, and if you come to Ho, the experience will be different. So move. That way you open yourself up to learn a lot. And even if you want to go beyond the borders of your home country, please do. There are so many opportunities all over the world.
All right. We thank you so much for sharing this. And as I always say, there's this air blowing in Ghana at the moment where fraudsters are trying to say, oh, I can relocate you to Canada, US, and all that. If you are a teacher,
Mm.
it's so demeaning to go to a school dropout in Ghana to tell him that he should take you abroad.
Yeah.
This is the easiest way for you to relocate.
It's-
During my time, I think excluding the flight tickets, I spent 10,000 Ghana cedis at that time, 100 million. That's what I spent. So I don't know what you're waiting for. As we said, we are not going to force and convince you to come on this trip for the money's sake. But look, just come and look at some nice things over here. Right now, if you are very entrepreneurial spirited, if you come here, the job opportunities that you see,
yeah,
if you go after the 5 years back home, you know what you're going to do. So
exactly.
these are some of the things that you should dwell upon and come. It doesn't take so much money. You it wouldn't take your life savings. So just put in the applications. There are a lot of program sponsors out there. As the school year has ended, I'll make a series on each of the sponsors so that you should know where to start from and the requirement. I'll just make videos on each of the requirement and how to get it done because we are going to have a new school year and latest from October. I think Faces starts their application window in October, right?
Yeah, by September. Yeah.
By September. So we have like 3 months. If you haven't done your evaluation, get it done. If you driver's license, we can't stretch so much about it again. We have talked about driver's license. We are tired. So if you think you want to come, some of the agencies is a strict requirement to get it. So get all these things and let's meet here in 2025 in the US. So my viewers and I, we thank you so much for the knowledge and the wisdom that you've shared with us today. It's you don't know how I feel when I talk to you all the time because I was in Ghana last 2 years and I was just watching you like you giving all the info back to back. I said, like, this is serious. So I'm so much appreciative of whatever thing that you are doing for teachers.
Thank you.
And if you are coming this summer and if you need any help, Mr. O's channel is there. Please put it out there again on YouTube, on Facebook. Just tell them and
On
they can
YouTube,
see.
O.com, and on Facebook, Mr. O. As for TikTok, I am still not active because I am still learning the rudiments of that place. I learned it's very rough there, so I want to be very sure before I go there. But I'm making YouTube and Facebook, Mr. O.com. Yes.
And mine, the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to Mr. O. Mine is Yao Abre, just that it's displayed over there. So if you chance upon this video, the YouTube channel is Yao Abre. It's on Facebook, it's on TikTok, and it's on YouTube. So follow, like, comment, and subscribe. And one more thing, he didn't talk about something he do most of the time. So he sells cars. He sells cars. So if you're a new teacher coming, kindly, if you don't have a car, you really disturbed in this country because we don't have public transport very accessible in some of the states. So if you need a car, can you give us a budget? How much do you budget so that as they are watching, they can prepare and contact you. And if there is any phone number they should reach out to you on, just let them know. And if you can, just advertise the car business to them, and any new teacher can.
Thank you for the opportunity. And it differs for everyone coming to America. It depends on what kind of car you want to drive and what your proposed budget is. I try to work with people's budget, but I realize that people want 2022 cars with more budget. So at least to start with a very simple, nice. And if I mean between 2,000 to 10,000 upwards, depending on the type of car you want. All right. But for teachers, I always advise them at least a maximum or a minimum of 3,000 or 4,000 should be enough. 3,000, then you are talking about a car that is below 2010.
Yeah.
Oh, here we don't care about the years.
Even the mileage, we don't care. We don't care about the mileage.
We drive. So if you are coming and you think you have 2,000, and you say, "Oh, Mr. O, let's get a 2007 or 2006 car, very nice one, or 2010 or 2009 car, we can get something for you." If you say, "Oh, Mr. O, me, I want 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe," then you know you're bringing plenty money. You have to bring plenty money, but with a budget of 3,000 to 5,000, you can get a very comfortable car to use, and you can use that car depending. For me, since I came to the US, it's all my cars I use are auction cars. I've never bought a brand new car. I'm not in the business of buying brand new cars for anything now at this point of my life, because number one, nobody watches what you drive. Nobody
cares.
Nobody even looks. I drive my Benz, and people are like, "Hey," few colleague teachers will see that the parking lot and say, "Hey, hey, your Benz is nice." That's it. It is sitting in the sun from morning to evening.
That's all.
Why would I go and take a 2025 car and let it sit in the sun from morning to evening? That is not bringing me any money. At the end of the day, I will have to go and pay more money to the dealership. No, I buy this one 4,000, 3,000. I'm off. I use it as long as I want. So it depends on everybody. But you see, Mr. I tell people all the time that it is your personal decision. If you want a Honda CRV, maybe he said, somebody told me, how can I suffer in Ghana? I don't even, the car I drive always leaves me on the road, and you want me to come and buy used car again? No, I want to buy. And I said, my brother, it is totally your decision. He went to the dealership. He's paying over $800 a month. He came back and he said, I think I have to send the car back. And I said, it will mess up with your credit record. Today he's suffering. His credit record is so bad he cannot even take any credit card. And I said, well, it's your decision. It's your decision. So the car business we are in, if you are in Ghana too, you want us to buy a car for you and ship it down for you, we do that also. I facilitate the buying, the shipping to Ghana. I don't do the clearing. I'm not a clearing agent. So you have to find your own clearing agent for that aspect. Yeah. So thank you. If you want to contact me, you can send me WhatsApp on my the number is on my Facebook and my YouTube page. But those of you who are not on any of these platforms, the number is 307 217 8984. 307 217 8984. Yes, thank you.
So that is Mr. O. So God bless you so much. I think we
Bless
might
you.
want to call you back, as you said you are transitioning to a different visa category, and if
Yeah.
you get yourself experience a little bit about that, you hold a special session for that as well. So God bless you. I know you are very busy, so I'll not prolong this meeting further. So God bless you so much, and bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much, sir.